What's going on, Steelers Nation? Welcome back to the Steel Curtain Call, a show here on YouTube and or Facebook, depending on where you're viewing from, dedicated completely to those Pittsburgh Steelers. I'm your host. My name is Patrick. Thanks for tuning in tonight, guys. And remember to subscribe to our YouTube channel, and don't forget to like the Facebook page if you're watching on the Facebook. Okay, boys and girls, it's time to come back down from Cloud 9. It's time to get back to work. The Ravens game was awesome. It was wonderful. It was one of the more memorable Steelers games I have seen in recent memory that I can think of. It was great. It was wonderful, and it was an awesome way to win the North. It was exhilarating, all that great stuff. But it's time to refocus. It's time to come back down from the ivory towers. We got to get ready for the Patriots. That's the priority. This is it, guys. This is it right here. This is the game that we have been talking about even before the start of the season, when the schedule came out, long before even the preseason started, and we saw Week 15, New England. This is it. This is what we've wanted. This is the rematch we've wanted. And after all the weeks and months of hyping this game up and talking about it, it's finally here. So no funny business from us tonight. No lollygagging around. We are jumping right in. The first thing I want to start off with is everybody needs to chill out a little bit. The Monday night loss against the Dolphins was big for the Patriots, but it also didn't really mean that much at all. When you look at how Steelers fans were reacting, it was like we won the Super Bowl, or now we somehow have a 5-game lead over the Patriots or something. No, not at all. Now, don't get me wrong, the Dolphins did kind of simplify things for us by beating them. I mean, it did a little bit. I'm not taking anything away. But guys, you have to understand, if the Patriots win this game, we're right back to square one. We have the same record as them again, and we're looking at the number 2 seed all over again. So, not to mention, do you really want to be the football team that plays Bill Belichick after a loss? You want to face an angry Tom Brady who now has Gronk back? Do you really want to be that team? I kind of don't. I'm even more scared now. Now, before we get going, let's have the conversation that we all want to have. Playoff ramifications. Now, we already know that we have secured the AFC North. We've got our playoff berth, all that great stuff. But what we want is we want home field advantage. We want the number 1 seed overall in the AFC. That's our goal. So is it possible to achieve that in Week 15? And the answer is yes. 2 things have to happen. The Steelers have to beat the Patriots, obviously. The second thing that has to happen is the Houston Texans have to beat the Jaguars, or that game has to result in a tie, either one. And if those 2 things happen, guys, we have got home field and we have got the number 1 seed secured. Now, even if the Jaguars still win, that doesn't doom everything, because then at that point we have a 2-game lead over the Patriots. But we do have the opportunity here in Week 15 to go ahead and get that number 1 spot locked up. We do. But we've got to take care of business on our end first. That is the priority. Ladies and gentlemen, I thought a lot about how I wanted to approach this preview show, and I decided that I was not going to do a long opening monologue, a big overview, and then talk about keys to victory. We're going right into keys to victory. This game does not need an introduction. We don't need to hype this game up any more than it's already been hyped. We know who these guys are, we know who we're playing, and we know what this game means. And we also know what it represents. Like I said several weeks back in a show, we know what this game represents not only physically, but symbolically as well. We have got something to prove. Patriots are our kryptonite. Whether we want to admit it or not, we just can't get past this team for the life of us. This is David versus Goliath. This is Luke versus Vader. You can use any literary analogy you want to use, but that's what this game is. We're going to start with offensive keys to victory tonight. Now, guys, I do not want to get too ahead of myself. I don't want to get too cocky, because if I've learned anything in my years of watching Bill Belichick, it's that you shouldn't underestimate him ever. But I am pretty confident when I say this. The Patriots defense does not intimidate me. It does not scare me at all. The thing about Bill Belichick coach defenses is that they usually tend to be kind of baseline defenses. You know, they're not outstanding, but they do make those big critical stops, get those big turnovers just at the right times to turn the tide of a game. They usually are very good inside the red zone as well. But the Bill Belichick defenses are always kind of right there in the middle. Now, I don't want to take anything away from Bill Belichick, because there have been some years where he has had some very formidable defenses indeed. But this year is not one of them. Guys, the Patriots defense is awful. I don't know how else to say it. It's really bad. Right now, they are ranked 29th in the NFL in total defense. They are allowing 374 yards per game. They are ranked 29th in pass defense, and they are ranked 24th in rush defense. They are allowing teams teams to rush for 120 yards per game right now. Not to mention, their pass rush is greatly struggling as well. They have not been able to generate consistent pressure all year long, so there's that. And when I look at how the Pittsburgh Steelers offense is playing right now, I'm very confident in saying this, I don't think the Patriots have the personnel, I don't think they have the weapons to shut down Ben Roethlisberger, Le'Veon Bell, and Antonio Brown. I don't think they can do it. They just really don't scare me, and I think we can put up 30 points on this defense quite easily, actually. Now, exact keys to victory for the offense. Here's, and kind of like I just said, I've learned not to underestimate Bill Belichick. And one thing about Bill Belichick coach defenses, even in the years where they're not so great, one thing he has always been able to do that amazes me is he's able to take those one or two things that your offense does extremely well, and he takes it right from you. And then at that point, he's got you right where he wants you. Your offense is in a tailspin. Now, like I just said, I do not foresee Le'Veon Bell and Antonio Brown having bad games. I really, really don't. But let's just say that Bill Belichick does indeed come through like he has many times. And let's just say he is able to minimize Brown and Bell's impact on the game. Oh, sure, they may still have their yards and their plays and their stats and all that, but will they have those big critical moments that turn the tide of a game? If he is able to take that away, the Steelers are going to have to look to other guys. Juju Smith-Schuster, Martavis Bryant, Jesse James, Vance McDonald, depending on if he plays or not with his shoulder injury. This is going to be massive. These guys are going to be massive. Now, once again, not to repeat myself again, I don't see these guys having quiet games. I really don't. But if he takes that away, you're going to have other guys step up in a big way. Next key for the offense, spread them out. Man, that didn't really come out like I wanted. It sounded kind of weird. The Steelers need to use the Patriots' medicine against them. And I'm talking about the way the Patriots offense plays. They do a lot of 5 wide receiver sets. They spread your secondary out all over the field. We need to do that in this game. Number 1, because their secondary is vulnerable. Number 2, because we have the personnel to do it. As many times as we possibly can, you get situations in there where you got Antonio Brown, Martavis Bryant, Juju Smith-Schuster, Vance McDonald, and/or Jesse James, and Le'Veon Bell in a 5 wide receiver set. Think about that for a second. How do you stop that? We need to come out in this game. We need to spread them out and pick their zone apart. Their zone has struggled very much this season. Next key to victory for me personally is Todd Haley. Now, I've made it known many times here on this show that I am pro Todd Haley. Now, even as a pro Todd Haley kind of guy, I still have to admit that this guy, there's times where he's going to make you want to put your head through a wall and leave it there for a couple hours. He can be very frustrating. But overall, I think he's done a good job with Ben. I think he's done a good job with this offense as a whole. But one thing about Todd Haley, and he usually does it in games just like this, is he tends to overthink things. He tends to outsmart himself. Todd Haley, do not come out in this game and play conservative. Do not call a safe game. Their defense is bad. They are ranked 29th for a reason. That's not a typo. That's real. Attack them. Be aggressive. Do not let the words New England Patriots intimidate you, Todd Haley. Our offense is so superior to their defense. Come out here and crush them. Don't change anything you've done over the last several weeks. Let's come out here and let's take it to them. Last but not least, controlling the time of possession. This is a giant key to victory. Keep Tom Brady off of that field. I really believe that if we can hog the time of possession in this game, we have a very, very good chance of winning. This is a big key to victory for me. Those are my offensive keys to victory. Let's move on to the defense. Let's start with the obvious one. Tom Brady. How do you stop Tom Brady? Now, I have a bone to pick, and I have a bone to pick with like everyone ever that has ever talked about how to beat Tom Brady. Everybody and their mother will tell you how to beat Tom Brady. And here's the thing. They're right. 95% of them are 100% right. The problem is everybody and their mother will tell you the way you beat Tom Brady is you got to get pressure on him. You got to blitz Brady. Yes, Sherlock. That is how you beat Tom Brady. Duh. But saying blitz Tom Brady and you just got to get pressure on Brady, that's like asking someone, what makes a car move? What makes a car go? What makes a car run? And they say, gasoline. Obviously, you need gas in your car, but anybody who knows anything about a car knows that it's more than gasoline. It's a lot more technical than that. There's a lot more that goes into making a car go. Well, it's kind of the same thing when we're talking about getting pressure on Tom Brady. Be more specific. What kind of pressure does Tom Brady not like? What kind of pressure makes him uncomfortable? There have only been 2 teams in NFL history, in my opinion, that have bested Tom Brady. And I mean made him look like an inferior, subpar quarterback. Only 2 teams have done that. Now, the Miami Dolphins Dolphins did it just a little bit. They didn't do it to the fullest extent, but they did a pretty good job of it. But there's only been 2 teams who have been dominant against Tom Brady. That was the New York Giants when they won the Super Bowl twice against them several years back, and the Denver Broncos, the Wade Phillips coached Denver Broncos of 2015. Those are the only 2 teams who I have ever seen get the best of Tom Brady. And what was special about the way they pressured Brady? Well, it's as simple as this, guys. 3- and 4-man blitzes. That's it. You cannot blitz Tom Brady with 5 or 6 guys. You cannot do it. You might as well just go ahead and commit suicide right there. Tom Brady is so good. He reads defenses at the line of scrimmage. He knows what you're doing before you're doing it. If you send 5 or more guys, and it's just kind of a rule of thumb for a defense as well. When you come out in a multiple wide receiver set and a defense rushes 5 or 6 guys, somebody's going to be open. And Tom Brady knows that, and he will find that open man. You cannot rush more than 4 guys against him. You can't. He's just too good of a quarterback. You know, a lot of quarterbacks, you can usually get them every now and then with those 5-man pressures, but not Tom Brady. He's just too good. The key to beating Brady is getting pressure with 3 or 4 guys and dropping 7 or 8 into coverage. And guys, that's just a testament to how good he is, really. But that's the kind of pressure that gets Brady. That's the kind of pressure that Wade Phillips was able to generate. That was the kind of pressure that the Giants were able to get, being able to drop all those other guys into coverage. This is how you get to Tom Brady. So Cameron Hayward, Stephon Tuitt, Javon Hargrave, and whoever we send as that 4th outside linebacker, as that 4th blitzer, whether that be Bud Dupree or TJ Watt or James Harrison, those four are going to have to be the ones that get it done. Now, the Steelers are going to get a little bit of a break in this game. Something very good happened today. Marcus Cannon, their starting right tackle, was moved to season-ending injured reserve today. So that's a good thing for the Steelers. So if I'm Keith Butler, I'm bringing some pressure off that right side as many times as I can. Now, this next topic is going to be kind of all over the place. It's going to seem a little convoluted. It's going to seem like it's not really making sense at first, but just kind of bear with me. Stay with me, and you'll see how it all kind of ties together into one giant topic. And this next thing we're going to talk about is just evidence that the Steelers missing Ryan Shazier has really sent the entire defense into a tailspin. One guy changes everything. So right now, with Ryan Shazier being out, this is causing us to make significant changes at inside and outside linebacker. It's causing us to move a lot of people around. First off, it did my heart very good to see James Harrison out there on that football field against the Baltimore Ravens, and I want to see more of James Harrison. I hate the way the Steelers have handled him this season. I don't like the way he's just basically been a healthy scratch. Look, I understand why Harrison's not getting a lot of snaps. The Steelers are moving to a totally different defense, and their outside linebackers are being asked to cover more. Well, James Harrison out in coverage, that's not the most ideal situation. So I get why guys like Dupree, TJ Watt are getting more of the snaps. Totally understand that. But you can't tell me there aren't situations where you cannot get James Harrison in there more as a pass rusher. No way. But now that Ryan Shazier is gone, James Harrison's role is about to increase, and it's about to increase in a very, very big way. Right now, the Steelers' pass rush has been struggling, unfortunately. Javon Hargrave, Cameron Hayward, Stephon Tuitt, all those guys have just kind of slowed down out of nowhere. And one guy in particular who is having a very disappointing season is Bud Dupree. Now, I don't want to take anything away from Bud Dupree. He does have 4 sacks this year, but getting consistent pressure, no, absolutely not. This is a guy who we all sort of felt like was going to have a double-digit sack year based on what he did in the second half of last season after he came off of IR with his groin injury. We all thought Bud Dupree was just going to light it up, and he has not. He has just been endlessly disappointing this season. So here is what I'm proposing, and feel free to comment below and disagree with me. And I also want to stress, I do not think this needs to be a permanent move by any stretch of the imagination, but I do have an idea on how the Steelers could maybe solve this problem right here, this inside-outside linebacker, this Ryan Shazier deficit. Something I think the Steelers would be wise to consider is, not all game long, but in certain situations, move TJ Watt to the inside of the field and let him take some snaps at inside linebacker along with Vince Williams. Folks, TJ Watt has been very, and I mean very solid at stepping out and covering this year when he has to, and that is obviously something that in today's NFL, the inside linebacker has to do more than ever. I often think back to the interception he had in the first week against the Browns, and I also think back to the Green Bay Packers game when he guarded Jordy Nelson on a slant route and he beat him. broke up the pass. This is Jordy Nelson. This is speedy, white lightning Jordy Nelson. He beat him on a slant. This man is faster than you think, and he can cover. And go back and watch his tape at the University of Wisconsin. They moved him inside a lot. Keep in mind, he also was a former tight end, so you have to factor that in as well. What I'm proposing is this. Have situations where you move TJ Watt to the inside of the field, and you have James Harrison along with your 3 down linemen, Cameron Hayward, Javon Hargrave, Stephon Tuitt, have those guys be your 4-man pass rush. Now, obviously, I already know you can't do this all game long. You're going to have to get Bud Dupree in there in certain situations as well. We all know James Harrison can't play 100% of the snaps like he used to. We get that. But if you could get these 3 guys as your 4-man pass rush, and you can have a guy like TJ Watt at times playing towards the middle of the field, guys, I really think this is a formula that can work. I really do. Also, I want to say this. Arthur Moats does not need to start at inside linebacker. He does not. He is not fast. No, he's just not. I took the time to go back and watch this game against the Ravens, and yeah, just an ugly, ugly game for him. I just don't think he's the same guy that he used to be. He just does not have those physical traits that he once had. Speed is something you have to have at outside linebacker, and Moats just kind of does not have that. I believe wholeheartedly the Steelers need to start LJ Fort. They need to start this man. He is no Ryan Shazier, but he does have some Ryan Shazier qualities. He's speedy, he's fast, he's got the good size, and he's also a very hyper-reactive player, a lot like Ryan Shazier. He anticipates a lot. He kind of lives and dies by that instinct, similar to Shazier. And he has also shown the ability to cover at times, so I think the Steelers would be smart to start him alongside Vince Williams. Next key to victory. Who in the world's guarding Gronk? As I said previously, it would be awesome to see TJ Watt get some snaps there towards the inside. Guys, how cool would it be to see TJ Watt and Rob Gronkowski going at it down the middle of the field? Oh yeah, that's a matchup I want to see. But the obvious choice is Sean Davis, safety Sean Davis. And I'm okay with this. He has the size, he has the physicality, he's got good speed as well. I expect to see a whole lot of Sean Davis playing down in the box this game to take on Gronk. I have confidence in Sean Davis. I think he can do it. Gronk still terrifies me nonetheless, because here's the thing about Rob Gronkowski, guys. Even when Rob Gronkowski is not catching the football, he still is tearing defenses up. And this is how. He's so big and he's so physical that defenses tend to focus all on him, and that in turn opens up the Rex Burkheads, the Dion Lewises, the James Whites, those shifty, speedy little running backs who Tom Brady loves to check the ball down to. Even when Gronk isn't catching, he's still somehow destroying your defense. And that's another little minor key to victory, is we've got to watch out for these speedy little backs they've got, and Rex Burkhead and James White and Dion Lewis. These guys terrify me as well. And with the Steelers not tackling good right now, yeah, how about that? But yes, containing Gronk, we got to do it. We got to find some way to do it. Next key to victory, man-to-man coverage. You cannot play zone defense against Tom Brady. You can, it's just not the smartest solution. Tom Brady is a zone eater. He will find the holes in your zone, and he will make you look stupid. And with the Pittsburgh Steelers, we're going to see how good their man-to-man coverage is. You know, all this man-to-man coverage we've been talking about in Pittsburgh, guys, you do realize it started with the AFC Championship game last season when the Patriots shredded us. That's where it all started. After that game, I feel like fans, players, coaching staff, we all in unison said, you know what? We got to stop playing zone coverage all the time. We have got to start playing more man-to-man coverage. And this is the game where we're going to find out how good our man-to-man coverage is. If you're going to beat Tom Brady, if you're going to force him to throw interceptions and throw into some tight windows, you're not going to do it via zone coverage. It's got to be man-to-man. So we're going to see just how good we really are in that area, how much we've improved in that area. Now, here's the other thing, and this is good news, but I'm also trying to, watch my enthusiasm here. Joe Hayden, guys, could return this week. He is going to practice, but before you get too excited, it has not been ruled that he's going to play yet. He is going to practice. He's going to run on that leg, see where it's at, and if it feels good to him, then he will play. But this is still kind of a big if. You've got a guy who hasn't played football in about 4 or 5 weeks. Don't forget, he fractured his fibula, which is kind of a serious injury, one of those you want to monitor as closely as possible. Now, he was estimated to be out 4 to 6 weeks anyway, so he is kind of, coming towards that time, but he still may not be 100% ready to go. It still is kind of a big if. Now, if he plays in this game, That's awesome. That is massive. That is a huge, huge win for our secondary. But if he cannot play, I want to stress this. Cody Sensabaugh does not need to start. Cody Sensabaugh has been atrocious in man-to-man coverage this year, guys. He has gotten shredded when playing man-to-man coverage. So I know what you're thinking. You'd really start Cameron Sutton, the rookie? Yes, I would. I know he's a rookie, but what I do know is that he specialized in man-to-man coverage when he was at the University of Tennessee. And guys, honestly, it can't get much worse than Cody Sensabaugh. I would love to see Cameron Sutton get some snaps. I would love to see him get some opportunities. And of course, this is all depending on if Joe Hayden plays or not. If Hayden plays, awesome. But if he can't, I think the Steelers need to give Cam Sutton a go. Other little keys to victory, we're going to have to be near perfect. When you're playing Bill Belichick, you just can't commit that many mistakes. You just can't. Penalties, not taking advantage of opportunities, not creating turnovers altogether. You know, these little things you just cannot do when you're playing Bill Belichick. He's just too good. You have to play near perfect football. And again, it's a testament to just how good of a coach he is. Whether anybody wants to admit it or not, this is how great and how brilliant he is. And I think that about does it, guys. So let's do a final score prediction. Oh, man, this is a lot harder than I thought. I'm gonna go Steelers. I am gonna go Steelers in this one, and here's why. It's not because of our defense, guys. Our defense terrifies me. I mean, it scares me so bad. I think Tom Brady's gonna have a wonderful day. I think they'll probably put up 30 points, to be completely honest with you. I don't have a lot of confidence in the defense right now. I hate to say that about my own defense, but just being honest with you. I believe we will win this game because our offense is so much better than their defense. As I said earlier, I don't think the Patriots' defense can stop our offense. I don't think they have the personnel. I just think we're too hot right now. I think it's going to be a nail-biter, and I think it's going to be a college football-style offensive shootout, but I'm going to go Steelers. I think this year we'll finally do it. It's going to be close. I'm predicting a final score of 38-35. Chris Boswell game winner? Why not? Why not? Bold predictions. Let's go. It comes down to another game-winning field goal by Chris Boswell, and he's going to nail a 52-yarder, and we are going to win the game 38-35 as time expires. There you go. But I want to hear from you guys. How do you think the Steelers should tackle this game, and what will the final score be? Drop it below in the comments. All right, guys, this is it. It all comes down to this game right here. Been talking about it, and it's kind of weird that it's actually here already. Win or lose, we'll be back here next Monday, recapping this one. I'd like to be recapping a win. Hopefully it is a win. I'm nervous, but I'm also excited as well. I'm very pumped up about this game. I'm ready to go out and beat the New England Patriots, man. I'm tired of the Patriots. So I'm tired of getting dominated by them. I'm tired of just never being able to overcome Bill Belichick. I'm tired of Tom Brady making our secondary look stupid. I'm pumped up for this game. I want to come out here and I want to shred them. Remember, guys, follow us on Twitter. We are at SCurtainCall33. Remember to like the Facebook page, facebook.com/TheSteelCurtainCall. And remember, subscribe to the YouTube channel, boys and girls. And that's it. That's it. Here we go, Steelers. Let's beat the Patriots, and we'll be back here on Monday night.